Oh, forgot to add myself there. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another video here of the Absolute Game of Nerds. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. It's the top 25 comic books in my collection. Obviously, a lot of you guys see videos like this, and a lot of times it's the top 50. I actually don't even have 50 comic books. I'm kind of a big key collector, so my quantity is not huge. But I think eventually it will get to 50 once I start keep acquiring some books here. But yeah, so I think the top 25 right now makes sense for me. So let's get this started. And again, I think most of you guys probably have heard me say this. Like my deal is I'm a big first appearance collector, so the majority of these books are going to be first appearances. Then I would say kind of the absolute iconic classic covers, followed by like a major first solo series. Those are kind of like the three buckets I kind of go to for books I'm looking for. But yeah, let's get it started. So first off, at number 25, we have Marvel Premiere 15, first appearance of Iron Fist. This is one of the more recent pickups I've had. It's actually a fairly nice copy that I got for a great deal from the Collector Dome. I think he's a newer seller on Instagram. And then the next one, you guys saw this recently in my Washington State Summer Con video. It's the book I picked up there, but it is the Hero for Hire #1, Luke Cage, first appearance. This is a major historical book. This is the first Black superhero in his own main title, which is very cool. And of course, having both of these guys pair up, so it's kind of a cool duo to have. But yeah, that's 24. For 23, I love this cover. I think it's a very underrated book, but it is Iron Man and Submariner #1. This picks up from Tales to Astonish and Tales of Suspense, bridges from those two, and then predates both Iron Man 1 and Submariner 1. Which is why I never understand why this book is so much less valuable than both Iron Man 1 and Submariner 1. And I mean, I like both the covers of Iron Man 1 and Submariner 1, but I think this is an even better cover. I really love this book. I love seeing when people have it because I think it's a great book, and we need to keep pumping this thing, right? And boost it up because it is underrated. From there, we got another first appearance. We've got ASM 194, the first appearance of Black Cat. Love this book. As you can see, my copy there has got a little bit of fade, and not a little bit, a lot of fade on that Marvel Comics Group strip. So, it'd be nice one day to kind of upgrade this to one that looks a little brighter in colors. But for now, this works great, and happy to have this one. So this is number 22. Number 21, we have ASM 300. Signed by Todd McFarlane. This one's graded CGC 8.5 with the Venom custom label. ASM 300, right? It's like kind of like the Hulk 180, 181 kind of discussion is like, is it the first appearance? Is it not? Is 299 the first appearance? We could say this is the first full appearance, we'll say, because Venom is in through the whole book. I don't think it's safe to say this will always be the money book. The cover, everything, this thing has been homaged probably more than anything. So another cool book to have. Keeping it rolling there in the ASM run, we've got ASM 238. This is the first appearance of the Hobgoblin, of course. This is by John Romita Jr., signed by John Romita Jr. I've said many times on the show, I'm not the biggest JR fan. However, I think this is his Sistine Chapel, right? This cover is awesome. And this is just such a great book to have. So happy to have it. And in the 9.4, pretty stoked when that came back that high. From there, have Superman 233, classic Neil Adams cover. With Superman, I think obviously he has the great Golden Age books. After the Golden Age books, I think this is one of the better Superman books to get. I think this cover is just so dope. Obviously, it's a homage to Superman #9, and with Neil Adams just killing it. So I love this book. Sticking on the Neal Adams theme. Next one up, Batman 251, right? This is that classic Joker cover. And it really goes from when Joker became kind of a comical character to a more actual homicidal villain. Again, obviously there's tons of great Joker issues throughout the Golden Age. I do think, though, this is one of the more significant ones that there is, right? Even though this is a Bronze Age book, this is a very important book in the Batman run and for the Joker. So happy to have this one. Got this one from Lawrence at Mighty Comics. Great deal on this one. Pumped to have that one. Moving on, right? Another more recent pickup, right? Submariner #1, right? So I showed the Iron Man and Submariner one. Here's the solo series for Submariner, Submariner #1. What does this put us at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 16, I think. Yeah. All right, moving on. We got another first appearance. Again, another more recent pickup. Silver Surfer #3 is a lower grade version that I think presents very well, right? This is probably like a 3.0. Again, first appearance of Mephisto. I got this recently from Steve at Nexo Comics. He's always got great deals. Check him out. Moving on. From there, we've got Iron Fist 14, first appearance of Sabretooth. I actually didn't learn until I got back into collecting that the first appearance of Sabretooth was in an Iron Fist book, which I think is so kind of random, but cool. And it's a cool fact. And there's also a great cover, right? This is a cool. Who is it covered by? This? It's Chris Claremont's story. Oh, it's John Byrne. Oh, no, Al Milgrom cover. John Byrne's on the inside, so Al Milgrom. Yeah, it's one of the. It's a great cover by Al. All right. Keep the party going. Let me see. Where's my list here? Let me see what number we're on. Number 14. Fantastic Four, number 12. This is the first meet of the Hulk and the Fantastic Four. More importantly, between the Hulk and the Thing. Absolutely, absolutely iconic. Oh, that glare. Iconic cover by Jack Kirby. Love this book. It is one I actually do hope to upgrade. It's also the Pence version. But yeah, this is a 2.0. I think I would love to be around like a 3.5, 4.5, somewhere in that range. So hopefully one day we'll upgrade that. Moving on, we've got number 13, Batman 227. Just the sickest cover, right? Obviously, the homage to the OG, which is Tech 31, which I would kill to have. But this Neal Adams recreation is one of the best covers you'll find out there. I love, love, love. And this is one of the first bigger keys I got once I got back into collecting over a year ago. Cool story was that like I walked into the LCS I go to, and a guy was there with a box of Batman books, and he traded two Magic cards, for the box. And I was right there, and Jeff, the owner of Ancient Comics, kind of gave me a good deal on this. So I was able to swoop this up very early on in my collecting days. This next one is a trade. A lot of these books I get from Mark from Collectibles. You guys know me. I've talked about Mark a lot. I get a lot of great deals from him. He's, in my opinion, the best price guy on Instagram. But I made a trade for this. It is Batman 181, the other 181, right? First appearance of Poison Ivy. When it comes to Batman, most of his rogues gallery villains are Golden Age. Outside of that, the kind of major ones, you have Batman Adventures 12, which is Harley Quinn, Batman 181, which is Poison Ivy, and then another one I hope to get sometime in the near future is Batman 121, which is the first appearance of Mr. Freeze, known as Mr. Zero. This one is a rough shape one. It's okay. I think it presents well, and I think it can be cleaned up and fixed up a little bit when the time comes to probably grade. I think most of my books I'll end up eventually grading at some point. All right, where does that put us on a list? All right, now we are at number 11, and it is first appearance of The Ghost Rider, Marvel Spotlight 5. Mike Plough kills on this cover. I kind of like how this Ghost Rider looks on this cover. I think it's a great book. It is a 2.5. The reason being is you cannot see, but right here, someone took a pair of scissors and just made about a cut this far up the cover. And if you look at the greater notes, that is like one of the main only notes there is. Otherwise, I think this book looks like a 5. Right? And I'm all about that, right? Books that look nicer than they grade get the cheaper price on the grade, but then you get the presentation of the higher grade. Like, I'm all about that. So I have no issue with this 2.5. Very happy with it. All right, that brings us to our top 10. And we've got another classic solo series, right? And it is Iron Man #1. This is, again, another trade I got from Mark from Chillectables. Very happy to have this one. When I was a kid growing up, I always remembered 3 solo covers, and it was Silver Surfer 1, the Wolverine Limited #1, the Frank Miller cover, and Iron Man 1. So I was very happy to add this one to the collection. And thanks again, Mark, on the trade and the deal. The next one up is another Iron Man book. And first appearance, it is Iron Man 55, the first appearance of Thanos. Obviously, Thanos is not on the cover, and a lot of people give this book crap for that, but I'm all good with that because I know he's in there. This was actually the first comic book trade I made. It was with N. Wilson Comics, and I traded like a handful of Doctor Doom, like Fantastic Four covers and a couple other things, but was more than happy to make this trade. It is in the old CGC case, which I don't love, and at some point I got to get this reholdered just because I think these old cases are garbage. But yeah, otherwise, Iron Man 55, love the book, love to have it. Right from there, moving on, another pickup trade from Mark. What number is it? Number 8. Fantastic Four 52, first appearance of Black Panther. Yeah, love it. An awesome Jack Kirby cover, of course, on this one. The Fantastic Four run, I mean, once 1 to 100, like so many just key first appearances. Black Panther obviously being one. And this book I mentioned earlier, right, when I was talking about first solo series, this is my guy, my #1 character, right? So number 7 on the list, Silver Surfer #1. I mean, this was just iconic for my childhood. I always remember looking at this book being like, oh, man, that is awesome. Love having it. Super pumped for it. Yeah, number 7. Number 5. This is obviously the best Spider-Man book I have, but it is ASM 50. Oh, sorry. This is book 6. Excuse me. ASM 50. First appearance of Kingpin, the Spider-Man No More classic storyline, and then just in my opinion, the best, hands down, Spider-Man cover there ever was of any artist, right? This is John Romita Sr. And I think this book, it really only does you justice when you take a look at it in your hands and just look at it. This cover is awesome. It is not to be beat when it comes to Spider-Man covers. And yes, I do love a lot of other covers, especially like Todd McFarlane, whatever. This, though, is top dog for me when it comes to Spider-Man covers. All right. That brings us into our top 5. And number 5 on the list is my all-time favorite Silver Age cover. Many of you guys know I've talked about this many times. And it is Silver Surfer number 4. And it is a CGC 5.0. This is also one of the other first early trades I made with Mark from Chillectables. So obviously super pumped when I got this. A couple things on this. One, I think this is the best depiction of Thor that I've seen. I love how he looks. And obviously the whole thing's obviously great. Surfer looks great. This is actually the cover, or the same art that is used on the 2013 Fleer Retro Quick Strike card that I have of the Surfer. John Buscema cover. One thing I think is a funny story about this is kind of just to show you where the mark was at when I first started collecting it this spring of 2022. Yeah, because I'm just over a year into it. I saw this at the first con I went to, and it was a 2.5 for $1,300. It's like, man, how am I ever going to be able to get to this book? This book would be such a grail for me. I traded this book from Mark, which is a 5.0, so it is a double the grade. and the trade value at that time was $675, and this was like 6 months. I don't know, more than that. But just to show you how far the market was up and then has come down. I actually think the 675 was actually a bit under, but that's the value you gave me, and I had no complaint about it. So thank you, Mark. But Silver Surfer 4, my favorite Silver Age cover. Number 4 on the list, the second biggest pickup I've made of 2023. Oh, I said that was my top Spider-Man book, and obviously I was wrong on that, right? Because we have ASM 129. So that is my lowest Spider-Man book. But this is the top Spider-Man book I have. Obviously, this is the first appearance of the Punisher, right? And on this cover is Gil Kane and John Romita again. The yellow, love it. I mean, this color is just incredible, right? And then the Punisher, obviously, is a super cool character. Super pumped to have the first appearance of the Punisher. Number 4, right? You guys know, outside of the Surfer, kind of my favorite, I guess, what's it called? Entity, or I don't know what we're going to call it, but is the X-Men, right? Many of you know that next big book I'm looking to get is X-Men 1. But until then, the top X-Men book I'll have is Giant Size X-Men 1. This one I definitely need to get graded soon at some point. This is also 2-1 that I think eventually I will upgrade. It's a little lower grade copy, but for right now, I think it presents very well. Giant Size X-Men 1. This is another one too where I didn't realize how cool this cover was until I held it on my hands and I just kind of stared at it. And it's definitely awesome. So Giant Size X-Men 1. All right. And that was number 3. Number 2, this is the biggest pickup of this year. Many of you have seen it before, obviously, and it is my Hulk 181. CGC 5.5. When I was talking about getting this book, I never thought I'd be able to get it this high. I thought it'd be more in the like 3 to 4.0 range. So super pumped to have this 5.5. Was able to kind of move books to get this done and pick this up. So super pumped with that. But yeah, Hulk 181. And then my number 1, I think many of you guys can guess it. It is actually a trio of books. So, but when we did our top 5 video, this was the same thing. So it is the trio, of course, of Fantastic Four 50, Fantastic Four 49, and Fantastic Four 48, right? So Fantastic Four 48, first appearance of the Silver Surfer, my all-time favorite character. And also they call it now the first cameo of Galactus. He appears in the last panel on the last page. 49 is the first full appearance of Galactus and the first cover of both Galactus and Silver Surfer. And just, this is probably my number 2 favorite cover out of the Silver Age, if I think it just off the top of my head. Yeah, it's in the top 5, but I think this cover is very underrated. Not talked about enough. Jack Kirby just kills it here. And then the part 3 of the trilogy is Fantastic Four number 50. This is actually a very cool book. It's obviously the least valuable of them all. People knock it because of the brown cover. Brown cover doesn't mind me. I love the Kirby Surfer on the cover. But like in the actual comic, the Surfer and Galactus go one-on-one, and it's awesome. So yeah, I am super pumped to have the trilogy. Trilogy is something I will always have in my collection. I will hopefully upgrade, obviously, as the time passes, but the 3 of them I will always have. So yeah, that is the top 25 comics in my collection. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe. I love watching top 50, top 25, top 10 videos in your collection. So if you make, I've watched most of the people I follow's top lists. If there's some I've missed, let me know. If you make any new ones come out, pass them my way. I love looking at these. These are some of my favorite videos on YouTube. But otherwise, everyone have a good night. Catch you on the next one. Peace.